Perhaps you have a person in your life that can make you upset by just saying a few words in a certain tone of voice. That person, you meet that person and he or she says something and instantly you have a reaction in you. Why is that? Well, one way to describe it is to say that that person knows how to push your buttons. In other words, it's like there's a button in your subconscious mind. And that person can, with a few words, reach in, push that button, and the button turns on a particular reaction in you. You get upset. So, what can you do about this? Well, if you look at the situation objectively, you might say, is it likely I can change that other person? I've known that person for some time, and the person hasn't changed in all that time. Could I change that person? No. Could I avoid that person? Well, if you could, why is the person still in your life? It probably isn't that easy to avoid that person, right? It may be possible in a certain way, but so far you haven't taken that step. But what if there's an alternative? What if your life doesn't have to be either I change the other person or I avoid the person? What if there's a third choice? That is, to change yourself, change your psychology, to remove the button in your subconscious mind that the person is always pushing. In other words, if you still had a relationship with that person, what the person does or says no longer bothers you because it doesn't trigger a reaction in you. Where would be the problem then? So, the key here is to realize something very, very simple. As we said before, you have your external circumstances that may be difficult to change, and then you have your life experience. And most people are not aware that there's anything in between. But the key to changing your life experience is to become aware that there's a layer between the outside world and you, how you experience life. And that layer is your subconscious mind. And so when a situation happens, in most cases, the outer impulse, somebody pushes your button, the button is in the subconscious mind, you don't really know what it is, you don't really know how it works, but it takes over your reactions, and now you're reacting a certain way. You'll suddenly become a reactive being. You're not really consciously choosing your reaction, it's just a subconscious process. Bam, there it is. And so, most of us, as I said, we were brought up with any understanding of psychology, meaning we were not brought up with any awareness of our subconscious mind. Certainly not what's going on in the subconscious mind and why the subconscious mind takes over our reactions and causes us to go into this pattern of reacting. And it may sound scary at first for many people when they first hear about the subconscious mind and we have to look at the subconscious mind and do something about it. It seems scary, but it's only scary because you were not brought up with any understanding of it. And the whole idea of higher awareness psychology is, again, as we increase our awareness, as you increase your awareness, what seems scary today won't seem scary once you understand what is happening in the subconscious mind, how it works, and how you can consciously change it. Basically, where you want to go to is to a point where here's the person who comes at you, says something to you in this derogatory tone of voice that he or she always uses, but you have removed that mechanism in the subconscious mind that causes you to react. So there's no automatic reaction. In other words, the person's word, they don't go directly into your subconscious mind. Or maybe they do, but there's no button there. There's no reaction. So you can consciously choose your reaction. And you can actually come to a point where you can be completely unmoved by the other person. Or you might be able to respond in a different way. To say, why are you talking to me like this? What are you trying to get out of this? Couldn't we take our relationship in a different direction? Or you could even just come to a point where you think, so what? You have no reaction to the other person. And that's part of, there's of course much more to higher awareness psychology than this, but it's certainly part of what HAP is meant to teach you, so that you can come to that point where you can be around certain difficult people, for example, and you just have no reaction to it. So how can you achieve that?